Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gail Carson, your host for Women in Business, a show that celebrates women and their accomplishments as entrepreneurs or senior managers. As a woman business owner for over 5 decades, I take great pride in bringing these interviews to you. I'm also president of the SOB clubs, so if any of you are interested in going to one in your area, just contact me and let me know. Well, we have a wonderful guest today, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Marquesa. What an unusual name. Marquesa Pettway. And she says, need clients? The smartest solution is speaking. Get ready to meet the founder and chief coach of the National Center for Speaker Training. Marquesa will share how easy it is to build your business by speaking. So here's a little bit about her. She is an author, speaker, and just recently became a syndicated columnist. Business reinvention expert, Marquesa helps entrepreneurs attract clients and earn income by using their voice to grow their business. She's coached hundreds of entrepreneurs and professionals to profitable businesses since 2005. And she's been featured on MSNBC, New York Newsday, and the New York Daily News. Associate producer for CNN Small Business Show, Managing with Lou Dobbs, for years before becoming the top sales executive for AT&T Business Markets in Manhattan, she now focuses on reinventing entrepreneurs. Welcome, Marquesa.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. By the way, you said my name so perfectly, and that never happens.
Well, it's been drilled into me. I have to say that. So, I have to say that I am really so agreeing with my first question for you, because I actually, before I went into paid professional speaking, gave 10,000, that's 10,000 free speeches. And that is how I built my first company. So I'm going to ask you the question, why is speaking a smart strategy for entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, thanks for that question. And frankly, it's just smarter. Think about it. When you speak, I don't care if it's 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. You have an opportunity to build rapport, to create a level of credibility, and to solve a problem all with one presentation. Now, think about it. If your presentation is 30 minutes, an hour, think about all the time you save versus trying to meet with every single person in that audience one at a time. So frankly, it's just a smarter thing to do. And whenever you're a speaker and you get up there and you have an opportunity to solve a problem and impress people and just give them a chance to get to know you, you're just instantly perceived as a problem solver, as a little bit of a celebrity. So it is just, to me, it's just smarter.
But on the other hand, we all know that speaking is the number one fear listed on the list of fears. So what advice do you give someone that's terrified to speak?
Well, first of all, remove the expectation of being a professional. Now, Gail, you and I have a background in professional speaking, and we still do a lot of professional speaking. But what I'm talking about is just for the average entrepreneur just to get up and share their expertise. That's it. I'm not asking you to be a professional speaker. And I think if you remove that expectation, I've got to sound like I get paid to do this, that's the first thing. The second thing is, your only job is to get up there and solve my problem. So, for example, if you're a productivity expert and your job, your gift is to help others be more productive in their workplace, don't get up there and say, I've got to have the perfect PowerPoint. I've got to sound like Oprah Winfrey. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. No. What the audience wants to know is how they can be more productive. So don't make it about you. Make it about them, and make it about getting up there solving their problem. Here, guys, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to be more productive in your workplace. And I'm going to share with you 3 things that you probably do that steal your time. So again, if you refocus that presentation and you think about it as an entrepreneur and not as a professional speaker, it changes everything. And here's the deal. You're going to get scared. It's normal. You get butterflies in your stomach. But I always tell my clients, it's up to you how you direct those butterflies. Either you let them take you over, or you tell the butterflies, I see that you're there. I'm not afraid of you. Matter of fact, why don't we sit up and talk? So either you can make those butterflies your friends or your enemy. But again, it's not about you. It's about who you're trying to help and who you're trying to serve.
Well, that's true. They say to get the butterflies to fly in formation. That's what you want them to do. But, it's interesting because, what you've said is absolutely true. I'm sure that people still have to have a long conversation with themselves. But what types of presentations are best to attract clients?
Yes. Excellent question. It's important as an entrepreneur to really create a specific type of presentation. In other words, do not get up there and just share your expertise and then leave them with, follow me on Facebook, or if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website. That's extremely passive. If you're going to get up there and share resources, then make it easy for folks to buy from you without appearing salesy. So, for example, let's say that I'm that productivity expert and I get up there and I share productivity tips. Towards the end, I can say, hey, guys, if you'd like to work with me for 30 days on making you the most productive you've ever been, there's a sheet of paper right there in front of you. I'm going to offer a one-time special. Again, 30 days of my support to help you be more productive. Take that sheet of paper, do X, Y, and Z, and boom, there's your solution. So my advice is make sure that when you put that presentation together, that your call to action is very clear and it leads to new business. That's called what I call the speak to market presentation. Does that make sense, Gail?
Oh, absolutely, because I think people assume that other people know what to do, but in reality, unless you tell someone, give them almost a direct command, they really don't know what to do, and that's the whole point of it. So what are your thoughts or advice on speaking and closing business during the presentation other than this? Just simply the action step is really a cool way to do it. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, remember, before you have permission to make an offer and ask folks for the business, you need to earn it. So make sure that your goal first and foremost is to go in there and do your job. Solve my problem, give me really good information. Do not tell me, oh, by the way, if you want to know how to do this, go to my book on page 52. That's not how you do it. And you do not sell from the moment you open up your mouth. Okay? The goal is to go in there and just give it. Just say, this is how you solve your problem. This is what you do first. This is what you do second. Give folks examples. You want your audience to feel like you care, that you're being real, that you're being organic. And then if you give, they're dying to get figure out how to contact you or work with you. And that's what you want. And then towards the middle end of your presentation, there's where you can say, hey, some of you will take this information, run with it, and you're good to go. And that was my goal for being here. But then some of you would like my help. You'd like my direction. You like my guidance. If so, this is for you. And then proceed to share with them your offer. Keep it short. Keep it tight. And by the way, do not end your presentation with the sell. End it with closing thoughts or inspirational thought or even one more tip. And you will have the audience eating out of your hands. So quickly, make sure you earn the right to make an offer. And as long as you earn the right to make an offer, you're good to go.
Well, I think that's really great advice. And, it's interesting because one of the ways you get people's attention is by telling stories. And that can be very intimidating. So, and then you also wonder, how much should I really share about, my personal stuff, so to speak? Because most of the stories that you tell have to do with your own actions and your own happenings. So what is your advice on that?
Well, storytelling to me is the speaker's secret weapon. And it is a way for the audience to really get inside of who you really are, the core of you. This is your opportunity not to brag and not to just tell everybody how awesome you are or to tell me about all of your children and what they do every day. This is a chance for you to help me understand how to implement whatever it is you're asking me to implement. So, for example, it's a chance for you to break it down. So let's go back to my example of productivity. Let's say that your productivity tip was create a 15-minute basket and put in all the different chores or whatever it is, the different tasks that you do throughout your week that take about 15 minutes. Put those in a basket, and then you are asked, this is my direct guidance tool for you, to pull from that basket 4 times per day. Here's an example. I remember when I would have these 15-minute tasks and I would forget about them. I'd do them at the wrong time of day. I'd never make it to them. But then when I implemented this, it changed my life. Maybe even give a specific example. So as long as you understand why you should tell a story and when a story is successful, you're fine. But storytelling is important because here's the deal. As human beings, we forget 80-90% of what you say on that stage. We forget about it. But guess what we remember? We remember the stories. So stories are just examples. Stories give us a chance to learn a little bit more about you. Stories tell us that you aren't perfect, that you had to grow and change and shift. Stories are just a great way to build that rapport with the audience. But make sure that the story truly connects with your point. If it doesn't connect with your point, then don't tell me. But if you just tell me a story to tell me a story, then you're just going to piss me off and I'm going to zone out.
I think that's true. You know, in fact, that's a great tip about putting the things in the basket and taking it out 4 times a day. I use a little different technique. I actually take 2 things that I know I've got to work on, and I say, what is absolutely critical right now, and what can I put off for, 30 minutes, an hour, 24 hours, whatever. And it usually works out well that way. And of course, there are some things I don't get to. It's absolutely true. So let's talk about this. Now, you say there are 3 V's that every speaker should keep in mind when they speak. What are they?
Yes, 3 V's, easy to remember. Visual, vocal, and verbal. And let me break those down quickly. Visual is everything the audience sees you do. From the way you stand, ladies, it's important not to lean on your heels. You know how we like to lean sometimes. It's important that your posture exudes confidence. It's important that what you wear compliments you, especially, when you're on stage or when you're standing in front of folks. You want to feel good about what it is you're wearing. Think about your eye contact. You don't have to stare at every single person, but really try to connect with your eyes. So that visual, and then here's the biggest piece that I think a lot of individuals do not realize. Your body language is the biggest part of the way you communicate. So if your body language is telling me you don't want to be there, you don't believe in your business, you're very you lack confidence with whatever it is you're sharing, I'm going to believe the body language over whatever message comes out of your mouth. So the body language dominates. Your body language needs to exude just as much, if not more, confidence than any other way you communicate. Now, the second biggest way that we communicate is vocally. And vocally is the tone of your voice. So you want to make sure that your tone isn't too high, or it's not too loud, or it's not too low, or it's not too brass. And then if you want to keep me interested, because I don't know why this is, but we tend to zone out every 60 seconds or so, sometimes 45 seconds. So make sure that you give me a little vocal gymnastics, if you will. Take your voice up sometimes, take it down, move around a little bit. But if you're monotone and you speak straight, I'm going to zone out. Especially, here's the deal, Gail, if you're speaking virtually. See, nowadays, I do more speaking virtually than I do in person. I probably speak virtually between my members and speaking for other groups a good 10 to 15 times a month, and I may only speak in person twice a month. And sometimes when I speak in person, there's a possibility that you may not see my face, just like right now. So you're listening to my voice. So if my voice is boring, and I'm speaking this way, and I'm just sharing information, and there's no inflection, you're going to zone out. But then if I give you inflection,